Hey crew, Conrad coming at you with the news, events, and weather for November 1st, 2023. And what's on your mind? Probably the big changes coming to the Glamis Beach store. So we'll start with the news and jump right in. So what changes are coming to the store? A lot. So if you didn't know, Polaris purchased the Glamis Beach store in 2018, I gathered to make it easier for them to hold the Camp Razor events. So here's the thing, because I keep screwing this up. Polaris had a public hearing and approval by the Imperial County Board of Supervisors on October 24th. And here's some of the notes or the plans that they have for the store. Check this out. So here's a satellite image that I put together using Google Maps and Canva for some of this fancy stuff. These borders aren't exactly going to be correct, but this is going to give you an idea of what the property is that is owned by Polaris, the Glamis Beach store. So in this, you're going to see this is our vendor area, typically. This dashed line that I put right here is where they hold Camp Razor. And as well, we hold the old school roundup the first weekend of every March. If you're a sandcar guy, you're definitely going to want to come out and check this show out. It's super bitchin'. And then here's the Glamis Beach store proper. So we have all this area out here as well. That's pretty much wide open, that is owned by the store. And then there's a private compound right here. So to give you an idea, Glamis Flats, Glamis Dunes Storage, Wash 1, and then the mini dunes right here where everybody camps on the flats. Okay, next. So I just added some notes from an article that was printed that's going to show the changes or some of the changes to the store and the property. First up, it states, Planning Area 1 would hold special events like Camp Razor, the large-scale public events that are a mix. So right here, I guess this is going to be Planning Area number 1 because this is where they hold Camp Razor, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, so let's take a look at the next one. Planning Areas 2, 3, and 4 provide for the expansion of the special event areas like the following: adventure centers and amusement facilities, an off-road experience, and an obstacle course. I gather it's going to look like this. If you've ever been out to Truck Haven at Ocotillo Wells, I gather that Polaris is probably setting up something like this, where they have it, it's pretty close to the road, this obstacle course with rocks and pipes and tires and logs and things like that, just to kind of show you what you can do in your own four-wheel drive vehicle, right? But what do we have? Polaris side-by-sides, which is kind of the jack-of-all-trades Swiss Army knife of off-road vehicles, where we can take them out in the desert, dunes, and the street, right? Well, on the street in Arizona. Suckers out in California. But otherwise, I think they're going to set something like this up on the property, and I think they're going to put it right. Just guessing. This is pure speculation on my part, but this looks like it'd be a pretty decent spot to go ahead and set up an obstacle course like that. Okay, so let's jump into the next. Planning Area 5 would provide for a Polaris research and development facility only accessible to Polaris employees. McIntyre said Polaris wants to bring and build an R&D facility for its off-road vehicle brands where the company could work on developing projects and testing equipment in a real-world setting. So I've seen this. There's a couple places out in the desert that have set up. I know Fox Suspension is one of them. I think it's somewhere out by King of the Hammers, Landers or something. They set up a full facility so they can test all their equipment right on the spot, bring it right back and do all of the changes. So smart of Polaris to do something like that here as well. I'm guessing that probably part of this section here, they're going to go ahead and build that setup and have their shop. Again, not exactly sure, but we'll see. Next. Okay, you ready for this? The firm has plans to expand its operations by developing permanent structures in the current Vendors Row sales area. These structures would provide a more stable and organized setting for vendors to showcase their products. So we're talking about right here. Here's our typical Vendors Row, where people come in with RVs, tractor trailers, containers, and set up for the season because they're only able to go for Dune season. I forget exactly what the dates are. But Polaris is talking about setting up permanent structures. This is interesting. What does that do to all the folks that bring in their tractor trailers and their RVs and their containers and tents and everything and set up? I'm really curious what this is going to look like. This is one of those question marks for me where I'm like, we'll have to wait and see. Okay, next. And get this. In addition to these developments, the firm also envisions constructing other structures that can be leased or rented by commercial and retail entities. These spaces could serve as an ideal location for shops or restaurants, providing a diverse range of services and amenities to customers. I have no idea where they would build that stuff. I don't know. Maybe it'll be part of the Camp Razor floor plan, something along the lines. Are they going to remove the original store or the second store? That's not the original store. I don't know. Pure speculation on my part, but restaurants? Okay. All right. So get the next. Additionally, Polaris intends to build an RV park to cater to the needs of travelers and campers. An RV park. I mean, I guess they've got the room to do it. They'll poke it in somewhere. I can't imagine how many spaces they'll have, but I guess if you're an RV guy that travels or something and you like to have that flat pad with your little table outside with full hookups, that's going to be an excellent choice for you. For me, I happen to be a campfire type of guy. I don't even bring a TV with me out to the dunes, but to each their own, right? Okay, RV park is coming. Okay, so that was pretty much all of the changes that they outlined. Very topical. Doesn't really give any details. But get this. All of the boxes have been checked and approved by the county. A resolution for the approval of the water supply assessment for the Glamis specific plan was determined that adequate groundwater is available. An environmental impact report determined that the California Environmental Quality Act, which analyzes environmental effects, was adequate. What does that tell me? What does that tell you? This is coming, folks. They got the approval to build all this and make all of these changes. What's it going to look like in the end? I have no idea. Well, I guess I kind of have an idea because I just shared with you all of that. But anyhow, okay. So here's the thing about it. We don't like change, pretty much. I don't like change. I liked the old Glamis store. And unfortunately, that one burnt down, right? The one north of the 78. Then we have our second Glamis Beach store, which is pretty nice. And it houses Joe Fab Shop, Glamis Fab out there, where they can fix your buggies and your side-by-sides and everything else. It's all set up. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens when they actually put a shovel in the ground and start building all of this up. So let me finish this out with Dune Commentary. Remember Hal Fishman used to do that on KTLA 5 News? You'd be like Hal Fishman's Corner or Minute or whatever it was. I can't remember, but I used to watch it on the news and he would always have this special segment. So I guess that's kind of what I'm doing here. So when I look at this and I look at all the changes that they're doing, it's like, okay, right? But at the end of the day, the most exciting part of this to me is that we have a big manufacturer investing in Glamis, investing in the Imperial Sand Dunes. So this tells me that this is a good thing for the area and we're going to be able to keep this area open for future generations. What do you guys think about this? Tell us in the comments because I want to start, a forum and some information and maybe you know something about this that the others don't. But otherwise, we'll go ahead and shut this one down and we'll move on to the next part of the news, which is Dumont Dunes. If you like to dune in that area, check this out. The road is still closed. If you're coming from Southern California, I did this on Google Maps. Here's Baker. Here's Dumont. You literally have to drive all the way up through Primm, up towards Las Vegas, and then head west to Tacoma to get back down to the Dumont Dunes. This says 2 hours and 53 minutes from Baker. So tack that time on to any place that you're coming in from Southern California. So I think what this is doing right now is a lot of folks that would typically go to Dumont are probably going to Glamis this Halloween opening weekend was absolutely mobbed at Glamis, and I think that's probably part of the reason was the road is still shut down. The dunes are epic, but the road is shut down. Okay, news. Let's get into the events. SEMA is happening this weekend, actually started October 31st, and it's going to be running through November 3rd. And believe it or not, I have never gone to SEMA. Having grown up in the hot rod, custom motorcycle world, Long Beach Performance Swap Meet, Pomona Swap Meet, all that stuff, never made my way to SEMA out in Las Vegas to check all this stuff out. One of these days, we'll make a run out there. But this is pretty epic. They got the road course thing going on here with the drifters. And then, of course, everybody else is, displaying or showing the new products that are coming out, as well as some pretty epic builds. So maybe next year I'll set it up and go check it out and we'll report from the floor, something along those lines. But if you're in Vegas or the surrounding areas, go check out the show. It promises to be pretty epic. Okay, next. Folks out in Victorville or the surrounding areas. Great American Short Course is happening this weekend at the San Bernardino County Fairgrounds, November 4th and 5th. So here's the schedule on that one. This is going to be rounds 8 and 9. We went out last weekend or the weekend before and watched the races out at Wild Horse Pass in Phoenix. It was pretty bitchin' and a lot of fun, especially the Class 11 cars, the VW Beetles. Oh my gosh, it's so fun to watch those guys. Check it out. Go over to Instagram, Great American Short Course, or you can see right here, Saturday and Sunday. Here's all the schedule of the events that are happening for the weekend, but I highly recommend you go check it out. It's a lot of fun. That's all I've got for events. Let's check out our weather for Glamis this weekend. Well, it looks like it's going to be a beautiful weekend out of the dunes. What do we have? 85 as the high, 87, and in the 50s at night. Just beautiful out at the dunes. Check out the rain. 0% chance and wind going down. So it looks like it's going to have no breeze, no wind, or I guess a light breeze. Looks like it's going to be an epic weekend. There was a reset right after Halloween on Sunday. The huge winds came through at both Dumont and Glamis, or the Imperial Sand Dunes, and reset all of those tracks that the mobs put in. So you're going to have some fresh sand. Be careful. Watch out for razorbacks and witches' eyes. Also, watch out for China Lake. Yeah, there's a lake out there by China Wall. Just look it up on Facebook or Instagram. You'll see all the photos that everybody's posting up. I even rolled his side-by-side over in that lake. Unbelievable. Somebody else put a helicopter down on the little island. People are having a great time out there at that lake. Otherwise, I think we're going to go ahead and close this out by saying thank you for watching. See you in the dunes.